Hiranya Kumar Bhattacharyya. I was a member of the Indian Police Service. And at that time I was Deputy Inspector General of Police. Then I was AIGP, Assistant IGP, in charge of Armed Police Training and Technical Wings. Particularly at that time, I was raising also the Armed Police Training Center. So obviously when the question came up that from amongst the refugees, Mukti Bahini company raise korte hobe. So I had to select them from amongst the refugees who were placed under me. I had my own standard of selecting. Many volunteered, but obviously for logistical reasons, I couldn't accept all of them. Criterion for selection was how young I could catch them. Even then, you see, 42 years back, I don't remember all the details, nor did I keep any notes. In fact, I was not authorized to keep any notes. And even now, I am not authorized to speak, to let out all the secrets. In any case, of all the boys I had selected, I think less than a dozen were beyond 35, beyond 30. But they proved very equal to the task, although about a dozen of them dropped out. They couldn't cope with the difficult, tough course. So some of them dropped out. No bad feeling, but they just said that physically they were not up to the mark. Number one, of course, physical fitness, very tough course. You see, it had to be completed. A real ground training within about 21 days, 3 weeks, though the whole thing extended to 30 days. But the ground training part was actually, it extended over 21 days, and it was a very difficult course, crash course in guerrilla warfare, both offensive and defensive. তার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে ছিল, in addition to that, was added the use of various small arms and strategical tactics. Certainly, the ground training was confined to only 21 days. Rest of the time was utilized in motivation course, and little bit of lecturing about the aims and objectives, and then strategical matters. Early morning, as I told you, morning session, they used to be given some physical training, particularly to develop their endurance. Running at a stage for 4-5 kilometers, climbing up steep terrain, then crossing over some water bodies with the help of a rope, with the help of a rope and things like that. Then, of course, the use of small arms. That used to be generally after breakfast, time was over. Use of small arms, particularly rifle, how to assemble the rifle in case it gets jammed, how to get it repaired immediately on the spot. Then the cares one had to take so that there is no accident amongst the trainees themselves. And this was more applicable in case of grenade use, grenade firing and grenade use. And only if I remember correctly, only the section commander used to be equipped with a stand gun or a TMC, whichever was available, which were made available to us. So this, to start with, after the morning session is over, preliminary drill, because you have to reduce the whole thing into 21 days. Quickly we take them over for little breakfast, if you could call it a breakfast really. And then we used to not only motivating but deliver speeches on operational form, operational efficiency, selection of ground, all those sorts of details. Basic point is attack the enemy where they are weak and withdraw where they are strong. And arms used for this, because they have to be extremely mobile. There's no question of using heavy arms like machine guns and all that. So please don't forget that 42 years back, the sophisticated version of the present small arms were not available. So we had to train them up in use of rifle, stun gun, even TMC of Second World War vintage, Tom machine carbine, grenade firing rifle, then crossing, little bit of mixture of guerrilla and jungle warfare, crossing deep water bodies without having boats, little bit of treatment, medical jurisprudence, and little bit of surviving in the jungles without being supplied with regular foodstuff. These were the matters. There is an enemy squad, say about a platoon, say about 30, 40 boys. And we are about 12 or 13. But they are in a disadvantageous position because they had no route for retreat. So we could easily attack them. But when we find that my one company is pitted against a brigade, then it would be suicidal. Rather, seal up their route of retreat, and if possible ambush them from a convenient position. Say they are going by a road, you are on a hilltop, then it becomes easier to attack. If I remember correctly, I had selected 200 odd bodies. Out of 200, after the preliminary, not included in this 21 days, after preliminary test, I think I had retained 153 bodies. Out of whom again, I think 7 or 8 dropped out when the course was at the height of its progress. 12 persons make a section of people, section of armed personnel. 3 sections, 1 platoon. And 3 platoons, 1 company. Am I clear? So roughly about 110 persons make up a company. But in this case, it was a little more because those whom I trained up, the entire number, was less than for 3 companies, but more than for 2 companies. So it was divided, and the strength of the company was increased. You see, already inside then East Pakistan, the Mukti Bahini had its nucleus, had its organization. And when the Indian army participated, these enemy forces were scattered. And they were on a flight. So for destroying them, helps were necessary. Helps were required from across the border, trans-border help. so that the pressure on the Mukti Bahini, regular Mukti Bahini inside Bangladesh and as well as on Indian Army, could to some extent reduced, relieved. That is the whole idea. And of course, there is no doubt to prove our solidarity with the freedom movement of Bangladesh. That was the main point. Else, why my government would allow me to do this? Our government, I say state government, and state government must have done it at the instance of the central government. I'm not sure about it. Some of us were kept ready. I think there were 4 divisions or something like that at that time. We were asked to keep ourselves ready for moving to Bangladesh, for taking over, helping the civil administration if need be, and if Banglabandhu makes such a request, then of course some of us were kept ready for moving to Bangladesh in aid of civil administration. Might be May, June, because it was rainy season, I remember. As I told you, I was not authorized to keep any notes, so I can't give you any date. In fact, nowhere in the files anything would be available about this. It was such a top secret matter. And I'm sorry to say that those who were associated with me, my trainers, my second in command, then my higher up, I'm the lone survivor. Everybody has departed. And possibly I am also counting my days now. It's come too late in my life, 42 years now. I forget, at that time, and now also I had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. Youngest 2, I didn't see them in non-sleeping condition for weeks together. If I could come back, say at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, they were sleeping, and I had to leave by 5 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't see them awake, in awakened condition, almost for a month. Those were the days, Anyway, all well that ends well. You see, right from 1947, I'm afraid we can't say the attitude of Pakistan was friendly to us. Prior to this, already 2-3 wars were waged, and above all, when millions of refugees entered into Assam, nay, into India, we had no other way out. We had to intervene. I think this has been Mrs. Gandhi's paramount success of our entire checkered career, but at a heavy cost. Heavy cost means what I mean. I wouldn't like to speak more than that. At a heavy cost, I mean Bangladesh has never, not Bangladesh, Pakistan has never forgotten that India was instrumental in partitioning Pakistan. And they would not miss any chance to avenge this particular crisis. You see, when you entertain some animus against somebody, you forget your own part. You take a very revengeful attitude. We knew how the majority of the people of Pakistan were suppressed, to how much atrocities they were subjected. Can you imagine 30 lakhs, 3 million people butchered, 300,000 women molested? You can see my ears even now standing up. So that was absolutely inhuman. Today, standing here, sitting here 42 years after, I personally feel that Bangladesh is translating into realities what Vishwakobi Rabi Thakur had predicted century back. হেথায় দাঁড়িয়ে দুবাহু বাড়িয়ে নবীনর দেবতারে উদার ছন্দে পরমানন্দে বন্দন করিতারে. As if Bangladesh is proving today, কেহ নাহি জানে কার আহ্বানে কত মানুষের ধারা দুর্বার স্রোতে এলো কোথা হতে সমুদ্রে হলো হারা. I personally feel Bangladesh is translating Rabi Thakur's Bharat Tirtha into reality. But as I was attending all the functions for last 2 days, particularly this steamer cruise along the Padma, I was reminded of my most favorite English poet, Walter Scott. And functions like this, government like this, simply enthusing the younger generation who never witnessed what was Muktijuddho Mukti Bahini, reminding them and enthusing them what Walter Scott had written. Bridge, dear man, which soul so dead, who never to himself said, this is my own, my native land. Well, to start with, initially, I did it as my duty. Somebody ordered me, my high-ups. It was my duty, being a committed man, police officer. That too in a very responsible position. And I have few books also to my credit. In some of my books I have hinted about it without giving any details. I certainly felt very elated. I felt as if, even if lately some recognition has come, certainly I was very happy.